Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Maya with Simply Bloom. So we have a lot to do today. A few things that we're going to do is we're going to deal with these pumpkins. I know it is January and I still have pumpkins. All the kiddos are awake and quietly playing, so we'll see how long this goes. If they get a little loud, I'll probably be doing a voiceover. Before I do the pumpkins, I want to show you some things that I got. I got together with my good friend. We've been friends since elementary school. She lives in Alaska, but she was here visiting for Christmas and New Year's. Yes, honey? Yeah? And we got together and we went to a thrift store and I got some awesome vases for the farmer's market. So if you don't know, I do a farmer's market in the summertime where I sell flowers and apples. Wow. Hi. Okay, so starting off with the most unique, this I believe is actually for like a wine bottle or a bottle of champagne that you could put in and gift to someone. I got this for $1 from the thrift store, but I was thinking of putting in like a wide mouth mason jar and then putting flowers in it. Something simple like yellow daffodils and just do like all yellow because I think that yellow would really pop against the dark green leaf of the ivy. So that was really fun. Next, I love to get old teapots, tea kettles. People love them. So I found this one. This one was 50 cents. Just like an old teapot that looks so pretty with arrangements in. And people think it's so cool that they get a teapot afterwards. The next one is my favorite, and honestly, I'm gonna have problems parting with it. It's this green little teapot, ceramic teapot with like this little warmer on the outside so you don't burn your hands when you're serving tea. This is like my favorite color green of all times. It's in excellent condition. A lot of times, like the teapots that I find at thrift stores are a little beat up. The inside is a little worse for wear. Perfect for flowers. This one is in such good condition, and I love the little warm, what is this, like a cozy? Is that what it's called? So I'm gonna actually have problems parting with this. I don't drink tea, so I would never use it, but this is just so cute. I got this one at $4. I'm not sure if I said that already. So yeah, every time I go, I typically find teapots from thrift stores anywhere from 50 cents up to, there's been a couple of real fancy ones I've gotten up to $5, but very manageable. And those are the arrangements that I will charge $25 per arrangement, which is very cheap. Very cheap. I know if I go to the local florist and find something like that, they're charging 50, 60, 70, anywhere upwards to like $90 for that. But my goal with selling flowers is I want people to be able to afford it. And a lot of people that come to the farmer's market, they're elderly people that don't have a whole lot of money. And they've made comments before about how they love flowers but could never afford them from the florist. So they are so happy that I charge an affordable rate. Okay, so digging into the vases. A lot of times, even if thrift stores don't have flower vases for sale, you can find fancy glasses like these. This just looks like a crystal glass. I doubt it's real crystal, just like glass, but it looks crystal. I got this for 25 cents, and I thought, again, how cute just to have a couple tulips. I'm in a spring mode, so I'm thinking daffodils, tulips, lilacs, peonies. That would be really, really pretty in there. And I did focus more so on the smaller vases. Those are my most popular. I have a bunch of glass vases already for my bigger $10, $15, $20. So this one again, 25 cents, works great. Another 25 cents, frosted blue glass. And you know what looks great with blue? Yellow. Yellow daffodils. This matches my other fake crystal glass. I actually got 3 of these, so let me find the other one. Here it is, last 25 cents. We're saving this newspaper and we're doing something with it with our next pumpkin project. Next, I got a teacup. This, as cute as this is, I have way too many teacups or coffee cups of my own. So 25 cents. I loved it as like a rose gold. I don't know if you can see. It's like a rose gold line with a white line and kind of just like a light, I don't want to call it gray. It's more like a taupe color. But again, 25 cents. I thought this would be awesome for flowers in it. And I think this is the last one. This one wasn't even a vase. It wasn't a cup. It was a old candle that got melted down. You can see the leftover wax in there. Thought I would chip. Actually, I've heard a couple different methods of getting the last of the wax out. One, you can pour boiling water into here. It melts the wax. The wax floats to the surface, and then you let it cool down to room temperature, and the wax will reharden, but it'll be floating at the top. So then you just scoop it out. I've heard you can freeze this and then chip away at it, which be careful. If you're chipping away at glass, could potentially break. But there's these colorful beads all over the outside. I don't think the camera's really picking it up quite well. But I thought a kid would love this. Heck, I love the bead and the wire. I thought it would be very cool. 25 cents. I go into that thrift store quite often, incredibly cheap prices. I can always find vases there. They supplied all my vases for the farmer's market, which was awesome. And yeah, so moving on, I'm just gonna leave those there. Move this bag. We're gonna take out the newspaper because we're gonna use that. We're gonna move on to pumpkins. I'm gonna see if I can put this little guy down. Can I put you in your chair? No. And then we will get on to pumpkins. So before moving on to the pumpkins, I wanted to introduce you to the newest Simply Bloom family members. This here is Thumper. He is a Holland Lop with beautiful blue eyes. And look at that nose. He is so adorable. Showing him the pumpkin. What do you think? We're going to make you some treats. And then we actually got a second bunny as well, another Holland Lap, all white, and this one is Blue. My 5-year-old daughter named him because he also has blue eyes. So pretty. Okay, moving on to the pumpkins. Now, please tell me I'm not the only one with pumpkins still from autumn. We wrapped these with twine for a little extra decoration, and I'm just going to put it onto a cutting board and work on taking off the top. Now this was tricky. This was one of the hardest pumpkins to get the top off. I don't know why I struggled so much, but I just kept rotating around the pumpkin and finally I got the top off and I love the smell of pumpkin. It smells so good, so fresh. Now I began with just scooping out the seeds and placing it onto a paper towel, but after doing this, I would say put it into a bowl first, skip the newspaper. We'll get to the newspaper later. So if you're doing it, put it into a bowl. And then after I got done scooping out those seeds, I did leave some, but I got most of them. I worked on this pumpkin. I was so sad to disassemble this one. My mom made this one for me, and I love looking at it, but I figured it was time to move on. So we got the twine off. I cut it in half, and it revealed this beautiful center with a bunch of seeds, and same process. Just scoop out the seeds. Now, if you're saving seeds to grow, like I'm also saving some of these to grow. Pumpkins, if you plant the seeds, you're not guaranteed the same pumpkin that you're harvesting the seeds from. There's a good chance it cross-pollinated with something else. And then I am working on this carnival squash. I think it's an acorn squash, carnival acorn squash. I could be wrong, but I grew this one. It was like the only one that I got. The stem broke off, but I thought, you know what, let's save the seeds. We'll see something fun to plant for later. So then after I got all the seeds gathered into bowls, I just started mixing them with a little bit of water to get that super slimy outside coating off. I know some people who save the seeds for planting don't rinse it. I didn't do a real good job, as you can see. And then I put on a paper towel, kind of blotted it. And then I wanted to roast some of them for the bunnies, just for a little special treat here and there. So I put some of the seeds onto a baking dish with some parchment paper, and I'm going to pop those in the oven at about 200 for about an hour, hour and a half, just stirring and checking on them. And then I began with just transferring the rest of the seeds onto the newspaper, and I'm going to leave these here for several days to dry. And then when they're done drying, I'm going to put them in a little envelope, and I'll save these seeds for the spring when it's time to plant them out into the garden. Next, I began with putting all my newfound flower vases into my china hutch. It is getting so full. I wanted to show you this one. This is another one I found at a thrift store. Beautiful water pitcher with roses on it. I got this for $3. What a find. It's one of my favorites. I'm not sure if I'll use it for the market or if I'll keep it for myself. But I began with just taking off the stickers, which in my opinion is the hardest part. And then I just started finding places for them in my china hutch, which is getting quite full. It was getting so empty at the end of the season, and it's nice to restock up. Checking on my pumpkin seeds, pulling them out. It has been about an hour. They felt nice and dry, so I'm going to transfer them to a mason jar, which is where I will be keeping them. I'm not going to put the lid on just yet because the seeds are kind of warm. I don't want any condensation to form. And then I'm moving on to the bigger seeds. Same process, putting them on the parchment paper, and they took a little bit longer to bake, about an hour and a half this time. Took them out nice and dry, adding them back into the mason jar with the smaller seeds, and these will just be a fun little treat every once in a while for the bunnies. Okay, you guys, I brought the big pumpkin to my chickens. They are loving it right now, a nice little treat. And then I'll bring the other smaller pumpkins in a few days once they've finished off the big pumpkin. The sun feels glorious. It's about 10 below zero right now, Fahrenheit. Right at that level where your like nose kind of starts to feel like it's freezing shut, but the sun itself feels so good. I might just sit here for a minute, soaking in the sunshine. But that is it. Hope you enjoy this video. I'm looking forward to the 2025 growing season for the garden, but until then, I plan on doing just some little projects like now. I have some Lysiantha seeds on the way, so when we get those in the mail, I will be starting those with you guys. But I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye. It's really bright. Like sun reflects off the snow. Really bright. Okay.